So I'm starting to process our sweet potatoes. Can you see how big this sweet potato is? I cannot boil them individually to help get the peels off because I would have to boil, even in our largest pot, maybe 2 potatoes at a time. So I'm going to peel them, cut the bad spots out, chunk them up, then boil them, then can them. This is like 1/3 of what I have to do. Probably the last third is good enough that I could just bake them. They're like normal size, but 2/3 of our potatoes are this big with this one. I mean, it's as big as a human head. It's ridiculous. So this is gonna be an all-day adventure, I think.
There's challenges to doing a lot of this stuff alone, you know, one person job. Right now we get 2 ladders and 2 of us would lift this beam up. You know, I'm trying to put this beam up here. Whew, up here. So I'm going to, I got this leaning and I got a little bracket up there and I'm going to try to put a screw into the wood so that while I'm lifting the other end, this side doesn't fall off. You know, it's a 50-pound board that's 16 feet long. If it falls off while I'm trying to lift it, who knows if it might knock my ladder out from under me or something like that. That went well. Along the way, I have made a couple of mistakes, but it turns out that they're working out okay so far. Like I used one of the wrong pipes somewhere and I was cutting it and I needed a whole one. Well, according to the plans, I needed a whole one somewhere else. And I haven't gotten to that point yet, but the scraps I've got look like they're gonna be fine. The length of this pipe is gonna be fine. And because we're not gonna do full-size doorway like this on both sides, then I'll have a few materials left over that would have been used for like the roll-up door on this side, so I can make up for some problems, I believe. But here's something, I'm looking at the plan. It says use the 1/2 inch by 5.5 inch bolt to secure the bracket to the supports. So this is the beam that we just attached to the upright beam. And you put this bolt through here to hold it, which I did. But just like the plan in the book, here it is, the bracket, the bolt going through. And they tell you to use 4x4s, which are 3.5 by 3.5. So why do I need a 5.5 inch bolt? I can't tighten it down because it's only got threads on the first 1.25 inches or 1 inch. So I don't know, I might have to create some kind of spacer or something so I can tighten it down. That's the first mistake I've seen on their plans. And I can't see that there's anything else attaching there in the future that might take up that extra space. Here's the picture of the whole end, and we're talking about right here. So there's nothing that would need to be attached out here anywhere. So I'll just cut off some little short pieces of this pipe to make a spacer. This is pipe I found around my shop, not part of the kit. If I find out later that it was supposed to be this long, I will let you know. Now my filler makes it so I can tighten it up. Something else about tightening something down on treated wood is that the wood is going to shrink a little bit. So later this will probably be loose. So you might want to come back and check these connections. I mentioned before that when I attached these bolts to this wood, a few days later, I noticed it was loose, and I thought, that's weird. And once I realized that the wood had shrank, I had to go and tighten 2 bolts on every single one of those joints, all the way down both sides. There's some beautiful sweet potatoes that are taking a break right now. And these over here, they are working hard. There's 14 quarts in here. And Cindy says she might be able to make 14 more with what's here.
Oh, yeah. The problem might be able to is whether I have enough energy to do all this. There's absolutely 14 more. I might could do 28 more. I don't know.
This bug is almost impossible to see. Okay, whoa. It's some kind of stick bug, but it's also flying. Can you see it right here? There's its head, I guess. Oh. I can't see any wings at all on this thing, but it keeps taking off and flying. Oh, I lost it. If you've ever seen one of those bugs called a walking stick, that's what that thing was. Except, you know, a walking stick sometimes is maybe 3 inches long and it looks like a thick stick, and this thing was super thin. It was so hard to see, that's why I'm describing it. But it was about 2 inches long. Okay, so I've got this H frame up here done, and then on the other side, same thing, all done. Now the next step is to hang the panel on there that's going to make up the rolling door. But in the beginning steps of it, it's got to touch the ground. So I need to clean up the front edge here and make sure I've got a flat area where it can touch the ground. So I got a bunch of digging to do right now, and then I'll be able to start hanging plastic. It's evening now, and the last batch is finishing up. I think it's got about 45 minutes left. Cindy has done a tremendous job today. This, I believe, is 28 cans, 28 jars that are canned. There's 6 more in here. I think 34 altogether. So that's what the noise is. I'm over here trying out a new device that we bought where you can make your own capsules. So I've got some licorice root powder, and I'm using this device to fill my own capsules and stick them in an old jar, an old vitamin jar. So I've separated the tops and the bottoms. These are the caps. And all the bottom ones are in here now. You drop them in here and you shake it around, and they're supposed to fall in there on their own. And since I was uncapping them by hand, I just was sticking them in the holes by hand. So you can see them in here. Now it tells me to put this tray on, and we'll go ahead and fill them up. So actually 95% of these came out perfect. About 5% of them in the corner were kind of crinkled, and the capsule didn't line up right and it was splitting, but I fixed those. This still was way faster than trying to fill them one at a time myself, which I've done before. I've probably done maybe 20 at a time by hand, and that was annoying. But I bought this bag of licorice root powder. I like this company right here, and some of their stuff comes from the United States. This happens to come from China, so it's probably not the top-notch product that it could be. I spent about $45, something like that, for this bag, and 100 capsules just now was about 3.5 of these spoonfuls, and I didn't even fill it up every time. So I think 3 large spoonfuls would do that. And golly, that'd be I'm pretty sure I could do that 15 or 20 times. So I was looking at capsules online, and it was about $8 for just sort of a regular licorice root that's not organic or anything. I'm not sure what it would cost you to get a bag like this that's organic, but just the plain old inexpensive stuff was about $8 a bottle. And I think I could do 20 bottles of 100. So I think that's a pretty good deal. And I'm sure you've got all kinds of other products that you might like to put in capsules. We use the capsules for essential oils. If we start getting a cold or something, we might take oregano oil and we'll just put a few drops in a capsule and swallow it. The oil will dissolve the capsule, but it's so slow that you got plenty of time to take it. But if you set it on your dinner plate and eat your whole meal before you take it, you're probably gonna have a problem. So there's all kinds of things you could do. You can buy these capsules, veggie capsules, online. I got, this is a bag of 500. I don't remember what I spent on that. I might have spent $10, so I don't know.